Good morning. Welcome to worship with the community of the First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name is Devoted Dave, and I will be serving as your worship associate today. We have a very special service this morning. You'll be glad you braved the cold and the snow and everything to get here. Members of the Alternative to Violence program will be presenting our service, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it and learn from it. We are glad you've chosen to join us for worship today, especially visitors. This congregation works hard to be an inclusive community that listens, engages, inspires, and acts. Our mission is to foster the whole person with compassion and justice. Love is the spirit of this church. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this beloved community. Let's take a moment to welcome whoever is sitting next to you or in front of you or near you. Okay, we have just a couple of announcements before we really get going here. And I believe Jay Sauer has an announcement.
Good morning, everyone. This morning I'm feeling like I'm Jubilant Jay. I'm going to go with that. Just wanted a quick announcement. So talked with Sherry. We are going to start up again AHA. AHA stands for Atheists, Humanists, and Agnostics. So it's a group of people who meet together, want to talk about how they discuss their spirituality and feelings of maybe they don't know if there is a God, right? So we, as UUs, we like to make sure that this is a community that's inclusive to all beliefs or even lacks of beliefs, right? So if anyone identifies as atheist, humanist, or agnostic, I'm just going to be down in the conference room or the common room after church today. Just come on, introduce yourself to me. I'll just take down some contact info. I'd just like to gauge some interest for now. Nothing formal started yet. I just like to see who's generally interested and kind of what would work well for meeting either in church or out of church, Sundays, not Sundays. I'd like to start figuring that out. So again, my name's Jay. And I'll see you in the common room if you're interested at all in being a part of AHA, which is Atheists, Humanists, and Agnostics. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Also, second announcement, UU The Vote will be gathering on Zoom this coming Tuesday, December 2nd at 6:30. I believe the link is on the Friday e-blast. Next comes the lighting of the chalice. We light this chalice, it's a symbol of our faith. And our chalice lighters this morning are Tender Terry Lynn and Roland Roman.
Good morning, everybody. We have a special words for our chalice lighting today, and I want to first of all thank you all for coming out in this weather. This is a beautiful occasion for the men here that come to meet with AVP. And the words, we'd like you to join in with the words, and they are on the screen, and also in order of service. And I will read them as. This is Roland Roman, and he's going to actually light the chalice. So we'll go ahead and we're going to start. The world in which we are born is just model of reality. Other cultures are not failed attempts at being you. They are unique manifestations of our human spirit. By Wade Davis.
Our call to worship will be done by soulful Suzanne.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out in this weather. It's good to see all your smiling faces. In the last couple months of Alternatives to Violence Project, we've been working on storytelling. We did a workshop on the stories that define us. We worked with UNO on a 3-week collaboration on telling our stories, which were made into zines. One of the zines will be shown today as part of our service. The other are downstairs on the back table where other AVP materials are. And we welcome you to come and read the stories. And I think the stories you're going to hear today, I hope you will open your hearts and set aside your judgments and see the common thread of humanity that goes through all of our stories. And I thank the church we use this church a lot for AVP. We wouldn't have the impact on people's lives without it. So thank you all very much.
We have a time for all ages this morning. I don't know if all the, excuse me.
Oops, I forgot this. So we had a workshop last spring, a 3-day workshop on fear. And in one part of the workshop, the Divine Miss D gave everybody a card with a heart, and when you rubbed off the heart, it gave you a message. And mine said to go buy something that gives you courage. And this is my AVP Courage Cape. And I want you to honor the courage of all the people who are going to come up here and tell you their stories. Some of them are very personal, very vulnerable, and think of the courage it would take to show that in front of a whole group of strangers. Thank you.
So our time for all ages will be introduced by Justified Joshua. I don't know if some of the kids are waiting outside the door and been summoned, and some of them are here.
Should I wait for them? My name is Justified Joshua, and I will be reading How to Apologize to the Children here today. Here goes. It's called How to Apologize. Everyone makes mistakes. Whether you are big or small. And when you made a mistake that has hurt someone or something, the right thing to do is apologize. Apologizing can be hard, especially if the other person is mad. Or if it's someone you don't like. But it's important to apologize anyway, even if that person owes you an apology too. Your apology can be simple. Tell the other person you're sorry for what you did. I'm sorry I borrowed your socks without permission. Don't make excuses. I'm usually much more careful, but I had an itch on my knee and a mosquito flew down my throat and I was trying to avoid a dangerous looking crack in the sidewalk, and if your ladder wasn't taking so much space, I wouldn't have bumped into it. Yes. I'm sorry I knocked you over. And be sincere, not sincere. Mom told me I had to apologize for putting your doll in the fishbowl or I can't go outside and play baseball, so I'm sorry. Not sincere. Ha ha. I'm sorry I accidentally squirted you with the garden hose when you were weeding the flower bed. Hee hee. But you have to admit, you look hilarious. Ha ha ha. Not sincere. Look at the new glow-in-the-dark watch I got for my birthday, and Look at the new glow-in-the-dark watch I got for my birthday, and I'm having a cupcake party on Saturday, and I'm sorry I sat on your violin. And guess who's going to be the star of the dance recital next week? Me. Sincere. I'm sorry I popped your balloon. I really am. You can also apologize with a note. It's upside down.
Dear Sloth.
You want to read it?
Yeah, it says, Dear Sloth, I am sorry I stepped on your toes. I should not have been running so fast. Just
Thank you. Even if this mistake happened a long time ago, do you remember back in 1987 when I called you Pokey Pants? Yes? It's never too late to apologize. I'm sorry. Thank you. If possible, try to fix the mistake. But sometimes you can't. In that case, you can still say you're sorry, then take steps to avoid making the same mistake again. We're very, very sorry. It might be difficult, but apologizing will make you feel better. More importantly, it will make the other person feel better. And that's why we apologize. Thank you for listening.
Now we will be singing the children out. It's the song is in the hymnal. It's number 413. Go now in peace.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of all surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of all surround you everywhere, everywhere.
Next, we're going to learn something about the philosophy of AVP, Alternatives to Violence Project. It'll be introduced by Mindful Mike. The other Mike? Oh, I'm sorry. Mysterical Mike. In light of the children's story, I apologize, Mysterical Mike.
Good morning. I'm the other Mike. I'm Hysterical Mike. Hysterical is kind of a combination of mysterious, comical, and hysterical, depending on the moment. Today we are talking about the philosophy of AVP. I know you keep hearing that, Alternatives to Violence Project. Actually, we're celebrating 30 years in the Omaha, actually Nebraska, Iowa area. The person that brought AVP to our area was Sister Marian Klosterman, who actually was a personal friend of mine. And AVP did start 50 years ago in New York, and that's where she brought it from 30 years ago. I don't know, many years ago. With AVP, there are a number of characteristics or philosophies that we follow that are going to be explained here by the guys standing up with me. So with that, we'll get started.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Joyful Jacob, and AVP is a safe place, that's for sure. Because before I came to prison, my wife and children were my safe place, and they still are to this day. I thought that when I came to prison that I'd never be able to feel welcomed or safe again. And then I was given the gift of AVP that has become part of my healing process and is also now part of my safe place. I'm so grateful for AVP to be with me now and forever, until I get to go back home to my wife and children and get to be with them once again. That I'm so grateful for them, and I'm also grateful for AVP for becoming part of my safe place, and it's a safe place for you as well. Thank you for having us.
Good morning. I'm Versatile Val, and AVP sees the good in everyone. Thank you.
I'm Cheerful Chad, and we may be spiritual, but we're not religious, keeping us connected together.
Hello, Hysterical Mike again. I just found out today that volunteers don't get paid. I've been waiting for a check since 2014. Actually, the entire project is being run by volunteers. Lots of volunteers who put in many hours developing a program like this, providing food, cooking food, serving food, cleaning up. The guys are all very helpful in parts of this. Also, we have people that are drivers to get the guys to and from all the various activities we go to. Some of the activities are here, some are out in the community. And I get to go to the opera more often than I normally would because I get to drive them. So we have many different activities that we're a part of. I hope I didn't forget anybody as far as the volunteers, because they truly do run the place. Thank you.
AVP is about learning by participating. Well, what happened was when I first started AVP, it was about 3 years ago, and I was in a spot where I had stopped participating in society. I had stopped participating altogether because I was incarcerated for over 25 years. And what I had learned during that time period is that I needed to participate more and not isolate myself, which is easy to do. When you're out here, it's easy to feel alone. It's easy to feel like you're not part of something big. It's easy to feel like nothing matters. And through AVP, I learned by participating. Through here, you see these hands, and these hands raised, and then this is probably Suzanne's caravan right here. But what we do is, what I learned about was there's times in my life where I hadn't been to operas, I hadn't been to theaters, I hadn't been to things where there's all these people all doing the same thing and trying to go in the same direction. And through AVP, I was able to get that. And then most of all, and I won't talk too much, but most of all was that I was able to get out into the community by doing these activities. And then when I got released, it made me feel, again, as I was part of the community, part of the whole, that I can get out and help and contribute and participate. So through people like you, I'm always thankful and grateful because your support, the support of this church, the support of these people that volunteers that don't take a check and that come every day and do this is incredible work that's being done. So we learn by participating through AVP. Thank you.
My name is Junior James, and just how life experiences is shared and everybody knows something that we ourselves don't know, and how we have experience and strength that we share with others to help them grow symbiotically. One of our traditions is that we are all teachers and we are all students or learners. Thank you.
I'm Judges James, and we also, it's not therapeutic, but it can be healing, and that is very true because it's a way for us all to get together no matter what we're going through, and we can, you know, we could be in a good environment where we don't feel judgment, we don't feel like we can just be ourselves, and it can be healing.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Don't Do It Dylan, and we have fun at AVP.
Thank you very much. It's now time for our community offering. Each week, half of the loose currency in the collection plate is donated to a local cause so that many people can do more good. Our Share of the Plate recipient for November is YES, Yes, Youth Emergency Services. If you're online, you can use the QR code or go to the church website under organizations. Our music, our offertory music, will be done by vocalist Confident Carlos.
Good morning. I really don't need this mic. I got a strong voice. I'm going to sing a song that we sing at my church. It's called Change, which is relevant to a lot of us transitioning out. Ready when you are, DJ.
but the water was cold. Angels in heaven done sign my name. It chilled my body, but not my soul. Angels in heaven done sign my name. Whoa, I know I've been changed. I know I've been changed. Good Lord, I know I've been changed. Angels in heaven done sign my name.
Thank you so much. We now enter into a time of care and centering. If you had a chance to put your joys and concerns in the book in the back, I believe we have quite a few. We have invited our AVP guests to join in that activity too. And Colin will read the joys and concerns.
From Chad Redding, saying, joyful every time I get to see my daughter Gabby and how well she is doing here with the rest of our family so far away. From Jacob Tobias, saying, a joy. I am so very grateful to have such an amazing family who love and support me. I'm so blessed to have such strong kids, Tylee and Coulter, along with the most amazing woman on earth who takes care of everything and everyone, my wife, Kaylee, who I couldn't make it without. Thank you. From AVP Family, saying, I am concerned I will not be able to find a job, a place to live, or a place in the community when I leave Nebraska Corrections and re-enter society at large. From AVP Facilitator, saying thanks to First UU family for allowing these men to thrive. And from Douglas Lee Regier, saying I am grateful for all that AVP brings to our church by holding workshops here and reminding us of our oneness.
Our musical contemplation will be a sing-along, and that will be conducted by Confident Carlos.
This song everybody's supposed to sing.
vola pe. Salam shalom. Lukusi vola pe. Salam shalom. Lukusi vola pe. Salam shalom. We believe in peace. 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 Salam shalom. Creemos en la paz. 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 Salam shalom. We will work for peace. 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 Salam shalom. Obramos por la paz. 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 Salam shalom. Nous œuvrons pour la paix. 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 Salam shalom. Vivimos en la paz. 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 Salam shalom. Nous vivons dans la paix. 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 Salam shalom. We can live in peace. 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 Salam shalom. 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 Peace. Salam
You might notice that the choir and William have the weekend off. We wanted to make sure they had a holiday weekend with their family, so everything's going to be on YouTube.
Our sermon today will be presented by several members of the AVP who will be presenting their personal stories.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael McAtee, and I am an AVP volunteer and facilitator, but I am better known in AVP circles by my AVP affirmation name. So you may be wondering what these, names that we have, these little, we call them affirmation names or adjective names, little names that you give yourself to kind of lift you up and inspire you. So my affirmation name is Mindful Mike, not to be confused with Mysterical Mike. So it's my pleasure today to really set the stage for the stories that we will be sharing. These stories grew out of the second year of a collaboration between the Omaha Alternatives to Violence Project and the University of Nebraska at Omaha Service Learning Academy and members of the UNO English Department. Over 3 evenings in consecutive weeks this month, formerly incarcerated, and family members of incarcerated worked with UNO students enrolled in an Introduction to Creative Nonfiction class. During these evening sessions, 2 AVP participants shared their stories with 2 students. The AVP participants' stories were to be based around the theme of stories that unite us. It was the job of the students to capture these stories in the form of a zine, which is a little mini storybook. And as Suzanne said, you can view those storybooks downstairs in the common room after service. There were 8 such pairings of AVP participants and students with 8 zines produced. However, we won't be presenting all those this morning in the service. Today, we'll hear the stories of 6 AVP participants shared by them in a form of their choosing. All right, before we hear our first story, I would like to start off this segment by sharing the excerpt from a poem by Lotus Kay entitled Rise Together. Rise Together by Lotus Kay. No matter what you have been through, no matter what you have done, we need to learn to rise together as one. No matter what it is that goes, no matter what it is that comes, we need to learn to rise together, rise like the morning sun. No matter our differences, no matter our beliefs, we need to learn to rise together and help our friends in need. No matter the heartache, no matter the hurt you hold, we need to learn to keep our faith. Say yes, even when the world says no. Yes, I am beautiful, and yes, I am strong. I am everything I need to be, and I still believe in love. No matter the yesterdays, no matter the struggles you've faced, your life can change at any moment, and a new point of view is all that it takes. No matter what you have been through, no matter what you have done, we need to learn to rise together as one. And so now I would like to call our first storyteller here forward, which is, get to it here, which is Alive Albino with his story entitled Family Ties.
Good morning, everyone. I'm with the AVP program. They're like my new family. They help me stay strong with my family ties. Growing up, I come from a big family. Our tradition was, if we get a gathering or a function or even just a party, before you do anything, our values was you have to introduce or greet everybody with respect. Before you do anything, you have to shake everybody's hand. If you're late at the park, there's 50 people, you have to shake everybody's hand before you do anything else. That's how strong my family is to me. And with them, through my incarceration, they were my bond and my strength. They helped me through this incarceration for so many years. They brought me joy, happiness, because they raised my daughter. I couldn't be a father to her. And because of them, my parents, my daughter knows who I am. Even though I couldn't see her, 15 minutes, phone calls wasn't enough. They're so far away, 2 visits a year, but she knows who I am. So I took them values when I was in prison. I kind of learned things, they had a student group touring the prison. So get this, I had a khaki suit, and I had to wear a bandana, like a tough cholo style, So one of my counselors comes, "Hey, Bino, would you like to speak to some students?" And say what? So, I don't know, something about life in prison. I said, sure, I agreed. Went to the visiting room. When I got processed in, one of the guards goes, "They chose you, right?" So I got processed in and went in the visiting room. The other guard standing right there goes, "Hey, Laura, are you lost?" I said, "I hope not, So I walked in there and I seen 30 to 40 kids in there, like, wow, like the warden was there, the counselor was there, they were speaking and everything, so I'm waiting for them to introduce me. When it was my turn they go, "Well, this is inmate Laura's going to speak about something about his experience while incarceration." I stood up and I seen all these kids. I go, all I seen through these kids was my daughter. What would I say to my daughter, to these kids? So these kids were asking me questions. I wasn't there to scare them straight or tell them some horror story about prison. I wanted them to respect the place because it's not a nice place to be in. It's a dark place and you get lost. When you get lost, you're lost. So that's why the family comes and keeps you strong and gives you strength. Even one of the kids, they felt my pain. One of the kids shared tears. And, what I said to them was, just respect yourself. It's a choice of life. Live it to the fullest, man. And just be happy. And respect family ties, because that's what unites us and keeps us strong all the way, no matter where. So when I was leaving, the 2 guards come up to me. She goes, "Mr. Lara, I want to apologize. You did very good out there. Thank you." Also, the other guard apologized because when you see somebody, I don't know, but some different style, cholo style, like, what is he going to say, So I kind of kept it straight, I spoke from my heart, keep it real. And that's how it was. So I just want you to stay strong, man. Keep that family ties going, man. That bond is so beautiful. It will keep you healthy, man. Thank you for having me.
Okay, our next storytellers are Analytical Adam and Earthy Aaron with their story, Journey in the Wind.
Hello. I have laryngitis, so I hope I can make it through this. I am Earthy Aaron. There are few commonalities between Adam and I. He is a science guy. I am a literature gal. In fact, he said he only reads books and articles about science. And even though we're very different, and he's been in prison and I have not, the one thing we have in common is that we value the connection we have to our families. We all have many chapters that make up our lives. One of my chapters started right here in this very church. I was in the 4th grade. Our Sunday school teachers were a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Kuntz. She was blind and he was wheelchair bound. The men from church had to carry him down the stairs to the Sunday school. One of the men walked Mrs. Kuntz downstairs. We kids loved them. We gathered at their place to make our shoebox nativity sets at Christmas. And at the first of the year, we started to bring pennies for our offerings. They rolled these pennies in tape and taped them to a poster board to create a timeline to show us just how long ago Jesus lived. I showed up every Sunday morning with my pennies rolled up in a handkerchief. Easter morning, Mr. and Mrs. Kuntz did not come downstairs. My mom later told me some of the parents said their children were afraid of the couple because they were different. I unrolled my handkerchief and let my pennies fall on the bed. I told my mom I didn't want to go back to Sunday school, and our family never did. That was my first lesson about how people are treated badly because they are different. That was probably the most defining moment in my life. I have 3 children. When my son, the middle child, was born, we didn't know he had an intellectual disability. But from that day, I became an advocate. Our family advocated to the doctors, in the schools, and eventually in the criminal justice system and in the prisons. My son is currently incarcerated here in Nebraska. He has been incarcerated for 7 years now. This is where Adam's story and mine cross over. We are both thankful for the ability to be in contact with our family members, him with his wife and kids, and me with my son. I am luckier than some that I can afford to keep money in Carlos's phone account so that I can speak to him daily. In fact, he calls me multiple times a day. That shows me that the phone calls, the connection, mean as much to him as it does to me. I'm going to close with a little excerpt from something he had to write for one of his programs. It's from his life story. Thanksgiving dinners, we have a lot of family come, and my dad has 5 brothers. Uncle Brandon wasn't ever there because he was in prison. Then I had to go to prison to have Thanksgiving dinner with my uncle. We have turkey, pumpkin pie, and now I'm the uncle who isn't at the table. I know that my phone calls will never make up for some of the voids in Carlos's life. He has a daughter who he has not seen since she was 3. But any contact is better than no contact, and I'm so happy to see that this church, my church, has turned around and become the church that accepts people no matter who they are or what they've done. Thank you.
So I'm Analytical Adam, and I had the pleasure of working with Earthy Aaron along with Cadence and Zach at UNO. And like Mike had introduced earlier, we spent 3 weeks creating a zine. And what we decided to do was create a little children's book. And it should be, yep, there it is. So the first day that we were together, Aaron and I, we both told our story. And we wanted to create something that would reflect not just our own personal story, but be a metaphor for all of us who've had struggles in life. And we titled this Journey in the Wind. So today we're going to share this with you. We'll begin. So where we started was with this author's note. And so this was the 4 of us together, we decided that we wanted our story to show how scary places can be when you are all alone. Connection to others is what helps us get through it. Connection is everything. And before we move on to the actual story, I wanted to talk a little bit about exactly what we came up with. So when I told my story, I talked a little bit about how it was an unexpected journey of being disconnected, or what I felt at first was a disconnection from my family, because I wasn't able to see them like I had been before. And Erin pointed this out in her story just a moment ago. What you have to do when you're incarcerated is you have to find new ways to stay connected. It's no longer tucking them into bed or being able to pick them up from school. You have to find new ways, writing short stories or calling them each day. Excuse me. What I'd like you guys to do out there is to reflect on how this story can be a part of your life. This wasn't necessarily about an incarcerated individual or a mother whose son is incarcerated. This could be a journey that you had on the first time away from home, where you had your first apartment and you were all alone. Or maybe you struggled with depression, or you still struggle with depression. Or it may be that you were incarcerated or have a loved one who's incarcerated. This could just be any story in the wind, this journey that you take of change. And one thing that we do in AVP is we talk a lot about these the mandala of AVP, and one of the cornerstones of that mandala is expecting the best. For us to truly change and transform our power from what once was violence in our life to nonviolence, we oftentimes have to first look at expecting the best from others and expecting the best from our lives. So as we read through this today, I'd like you to reflect on that. Chris lived in a sunny balcony with his mama and papa. They spent these days munching leaves and dreaming of wings. One breezy afternoon, Chris climbed onto a leaf to make his cocoon, but whoosh! The wind blew hard. The leaf shook, and off it went. Down, 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 first tumbling on the fire escape, then bounced down the sidewalk, and then ploop, slipped into a dark, damp storm drain. It was cold and quiet underground. Chris didn't move. He just waited inside his cozy cocoon. Will I ever see my family again? He wondered. One morning, sunlight peeked through the drain. The cocoon started to shake. Crack, crack. Out came Chris with beautiful wings. He had become a butterfly. Up, up, up. Chris fluttered up toward the sunlight. He followed the sidewalk, flew to the fire escape, and finally back to the balcony where his family waited. Chris, cried his mama and papa, you're a butterfly now. They fluttered and danced in the sunshine together again. Chris smiled. He had found his way home. And then this final page with the family, this is a haiku that Aaron wrote as our final slide. Alone in the dark, just look for connection and you will find the light. And because, like Aaron mentioned, the reason I picked Zach and Cadence to begin with was they both had introduced themselves. One was a biology major and one was a physics major. And I was a physics and chemistry instructor prior to incarceration. So we all had that in common. So we had to make something scientific out of it. So we put this in the end, the life cycle of a butterfly. But like I mentioned, the beauty of nature is that it plays out that journey for us. And a butterfly goes through that journey, and we've all had those moments in our life that transform from what once was what we perceived as a negative, maybe a down on our luck, maybe something that we felt we would never get out of. And through AVP, I've been able to transform and become a better person and make those connections again. So I thank you for all that.
Okay, now we'll move to a reading from Calm Caleb, a poem by Maya Angelou, Human Family.
Hi, I'm Calm Caleb, and I am anything but calm right now. I don't do well with public speaking, so bear with me. I might stutter, lisp, come out a little bit. The Human Family by Maya Angelou. I note the obvious differences in the human family. Some of us are serious, some thrive on comedy. Some declare their lives are lived as true profundity, and others claim they really live the real reality. The variety of our skin tones can confuse, bemuse, and delight, brown and pink and beige and purple, tan and blue and white. I've sailed upon the 7 seas and stopped in every land. I've seen the wonders of the world, not yet one common man. I know 10,000 women called Jane and married Jane, but I've not seen any two that really were the same. Mirror twins are different, although their features jibe, and lovers think quite different thoughts while lying side by side. We love and lose in China, we weep on England's moors, and we laugh and moan in Guinea and thrive on Spanish shores. We seek success in Finland, are born and die in Maine. In minor ways we differ, in major we are the same. I note the obvious differences between each sort and type. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. We are more alike, my friends, than we are unalike. Huzzah!
That's so cool.
All right, now we have our third story from Enlightened Eric.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Enlightened Eric. I'd like to start with a quote from a monk from the 4th century, if you don't mind. When heaven is about to confer a great responsibility on any man, it will exercise his mind with suffering, subject his sinews and bones to hard work, expose his body to hunger, put him to poverty, place obstacles in his path of his deeds, as to stimulate his mind, harden his nature, and improve wherever he is incompetent. I came to prison with advice from a dear friend, and for his anonymity, I'll call him Sir James. Sir James said to me, "Make this experience work for you." I intend to do just that. To take this time for growth, to change the narrative and perspective of my story, to empower and enrich my life. Thank you, Sir James. Prison has a reputation for being a place of destitute, and as this may be true, there is a duality I've experienced. To my surprise, I have found joy, fellowship, and ridiculous amounts of rib-splitting, gut-wrenching laughter. Most importantly, I've made connections. I believe all crime comes down to one fundamental truth: a lack of security in one way or another. To counter this fundamental truth, I believe just maybe connection can be a tool to change this truth. In a world seeming to be more divided than ever, I can honestly say the volunteers of AVP are active in reconnecting individuals with their authentic selves. AVP started with a choice. My peers, Josh, Caleb, they asked me to attend my first meeting. I was truly surprised to see human beings not only showing up for us in so many ways, but advocating for us as well. Being a man not from Nebraska, I cannot understate how important this project is, especially to me. Being 764 miles from my family and friends is by far the hardest part of my incarceration. As far away as my support system is, I cannot express how much they do for me. I love you all very much. And I'd also like to say thank you to all the facilitators and volunteers. Adam, Mike, Terry, Aaron. I'm glad that you all are in my story. And all the people I didn't say. Suzanne, you rock. Never would I have thought in a million years, if someone were to ask me, "How did you spend your time incarcerated, Eric?" I would be able to say, I attended orchestras, symphonies, art shows, and various workshops. In addition to building rich connections in the community of Omaha, I will forever be thankful for AVP. And thank you, and I love you, Rochelle.
Okay, our last story here is from Cat Person Chris.
All right, hello, good morning. My name is Cat Person Chris. The reason I'm Cat Person Chris is because I was allergic to cats for years, 38 years to be exact, and used to rescue a lot of dogs and raise dogs, and then there was a series of events that led to me getting over my allergy to cats, and over the next 3 years I adopted 3 black kitties, and my mom is taking care of them right now. They are my guardian angels as I pass through the hell that is incarceration. Anyhow, so first, I would like to thank the Lord for always being with me wherever I go. I would like to thank my mom for being a support to me through this whole thing. My dad as well, but my dad passed away 9 months ago. God rest his soul. And the rest of my family is not there for me through this situation, and it's understandable, but I would like to thank them anyhow for the times that they have been there for me. And this that I'm about to read is a continuation of my joint AVP UNO zine project. I just want to speak a little bit about my journey and why martial arts means so much to me. It's helped me over the years to be more in tune with others and to be a better person. And then I'd like to maybe talk about some misconceptions people commonly have about it. As a kid, my family moved around a lot. I never really got to put my roots down. I've been through a lot in my life. I've also made a lot of mistakes and hurt others. I'm very penitent over that. I grew up with a litany of health problems, trauma, abuse. I was bullied, but I don't want to get sympathy or even mention these things, but in passing and in the context of how martial arts has impacted me for the positive. I also have strong spiritual beliefs. I believe in Jesus Christ, as I have had personal spiritual encounters with him since I was 6 years old. My martial journey has been akin to my spiritual journey. Also, when I was 6, was my first exposure to martial arts. My older brother, who is now deceased, God bless his soul, was in karate, and I saw the Karate Kid and knew what I wanted to do. With my health problems growing up, I didn't know how I'd accomplish this. During my childhood and teen years, I asked to be placed into a martial arts school, and it never happened. Then when I was 18 and had a couple of run-ins with the law, a neighbor of my mom's invited me to his karate class. I regularly attended. 2 years later, at one point, I was the only colored belt student and the school closed. This was confusing as their philosophy was that the school would remain open so long as there were one willing student. I continued to study martial arts and practice what I had learned of Okinawan karate from age 20 to 26. One day I decided I needed a school again. I didn't want to learn Taekwondo, which was the only martial art taught in town at that time, or so I thought. So I went to the only school they had in town at that time to reluctantly sign up for Taekwondo. When I got there, I witnessed 2 instructors whom later I would surpass in belt rank, but not in skills. Using Hapkido versus MMA, they would take turns using their MMA skills and using Hapkido to subdue one another. When I saw Hapkido used to control and subdue the MMA attacker every time, I decided that was what I wanted to learn. How to subdue even a skilled attacker and control them without having to hurt them. Over the next 19 years, I continued to slowly test and progress through the ranks till I obtained a 2nd-degree black belt. I successfully tested for 3rd-degree black belt, but was arrested before I could be awarded my certificate. In 2012, I became an assistant instructor. I was allowed to volunteer at the school to pay for all my classes because my instructor would rather have a full school than to let money be a barrier to providing a service to the community. After my second dan, I ran into 2 of my old karate senseis, one of which is deceased now, God rest his soul. They told me they were proud of me for continuing and admitted that they closed the school because they didn't think I would stick with it. I found out from my mom that she never put me in a school because they thought I wouldn't stick with it. Suffice it to say, when given the chance beyond assumption, I stuck with it. I will do so until I'm old because, as it turns out, practicing martial arts till you're old keeps you young and vital. So as I enthusiastically speak about my passion and the journey of self-transformation and personal progress I'm on and what has happened with learning self-defense in my life, let me say a few things about what martial arts is and isn't. Having a black belt is not a license to hurt others or an excuse to be a bully. It is not a way to show off. It is not a way to brag. It is not a way to posture oneself as superior to others. Having a black belt or being a martial artist does not signify that one is a badass or a tough guy. I was taught by police officers and military professionals, and not only did we learn appropriate use of force, we learned self-control above all else. We learned a martial art like no others, grounded in reality, a martial art that takes one's build and physique and health and physical limitations into consideration and real-world scenarios, including the environment, weather, and all potential obstacles into consideration, but many other real-world variables when teaching you what to do and when and why when one is under attack. You, however, are not taught to be an aggressor. Philosophically, we are taught important lessons such as the only fight you win is the one you don't get into. And learning martial arts is so you won't have to fight, and to never underestimate anyone, least of all yourself. Now I want to talk about some things martial arts training and having a black belt is. It is learning to be ready for anything. It is a journey of self-reflection, self-realization, self-actualization. It is self-discovery. It is learning physics and fast thinking. It is a reason to avoid fights and fighting. It is a meditation, both still and moving, flow state meditation. The school is a family not unlike Average Joe's Gymnasium from the movie Dodgeball. It is a place where anyone is welcome and treated with dignity and compassion, empathy and understanding, not unlike the AVP family. I am proud of my school and my art of self-defense and its Korean history of never being used historically for invading or occupying others' lands, but instead being used only to drive away attackers and occupiers. I'm proud of my mentors and peers and their efforts and influence. I am not prideful over some mysterious esoteric mastery. A third-degree black belt doesn't signify some level of skills over a second degree or a first degree or even a beginner white belt. It simply signifies that someone stuck with it, continued to learn and participate, and publicly tested for the material they learned. That is it. My school has taught differently abled people, such as someone with one arm or someone confined to a wheelchair. They accept people of all walks and faiths and cultures. So when I say or show I'm proud of these people and their efforts to help other people. I'm proud of my peers and mentors and our collaborative efforts. It is also a way to better one's health mentally and physically. I've been taught real-life, life-saving tactics for defending oneself and others that have saved my life on multiple occasions. I've been assaulted in the street by drunken people in Nebraska more than 3 times in my life. For instance, one time the night before my first degree testing in 2012. Martial arts is also healthy social development, a healthy outlet, and a positive environment full of studious, mature, helpful, respectable people who are decent and kind and who want to do their part to make the world a safer, better place for all. It also gives me a way to bond with my kids and something wonderful to pass down to them and their kids, and hopefully so on. One thing I never want to do is have my enthusiasm over martial arts or confidence in my abilities or experiences to come across as haughty or prideful, or to in any way misrepresent what martial arts and the journey is and can do for people. I'm thankful for my martial arts experiences and the people I've trained and studied with, and the gift of their time and attention and support and acceptance over the years, and the same goes for my AVP family.
First of all, I think we ought to give all our presenters and volunteers a round of applause. All right, before we extinguish our chalice, I'd like to invite everyone downstairs to the common room to share some cake and help AVP Omaha celebrate 30 years of positively transforming lives using the ways of nonviolence. So, cake downstairs afterwards. And I'll read the closing words here and then extinguish the chalice. And we have some music, which we invite you to participate in as we close things out. And thank you all today for coming. Thanks to the church for all your support. We couldn't really do it without you. So, closing words. Closing words come from Craig Rowland, a UU in Salem, Oregon. They're entitled, "Here and Beyond These Walls." As we extinguish this chalice flame, may the warmth of its light remain with us, guiding our steps and our hearts. Let us carry forward the strength of this community, the courage to speak the truth, and the hope that transformation is possible. In each breath we take, may we remember that the work of love, justice, and healing is ours to continue, both here and beyond these walls. Thank you very much.
cupcake? That was good. Huh? Going down to cupcake?
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat for this one.
Skipper.
Hey, man. Good to see you, brother. Sorry, I've been a stranger. Oh.